Hey everyone, welcome to the B-Rad podcast. My name is Brad Taves. This is episode number 4, and today's talk is called People on Pedestals. Hope you enjoy. So as I'm recording this right now, there is the Winter Olympics that's taking place in South Korea. And as a Canadian, of course, I'm cheering for all of our Canadian athletes who are out there doing amazing, and we seem to do better in the Winter Olympics than we do the summer. It's probably because it's winter here most of the year. And it's awesome to watch. I love to watch all of the competition and the storylines and the drama. It's really fantastic. And today's talk is a bit inspired because of that. It's something I've been thinking about for a while, but certainly as we watch the Olympics, we see people on podiums and all the work that they put into that, and so it's really inspired me to talk about this. So today's topic is called People on Pedestals. And I believe that there's some questions to be unearthed with this concept. We all know that what a pedestal is, and it's much like a podium in the Olympics where you have earned the right to step up on the podium because you've done the work and you have accomplished the prize and the accomplishment, and that pedestal is a way for you to stand up higher than everyone else, and there for there to be a recognition, an acknowledgement, to be seen by the public as having done something that's worthwhile. And that's what a pedestal is. So my first question that I have is, as a collective group, as a society, as a universal perspective, why do we put people on pedestals? Why is that such a phenomenon that is ingrained in our psyche? We see this with all the Marvel movies that have come out recently with these heroes, and even before Marvel comics and that the introduction of all those movies, it's been in entertainment for so long that we want to see a hero figure. We desperately desire to have someone stand up and reclaim the good and overcome the evil and give us some direction and guidance. And we deeply want to have people to idolize. It's so funny when that show came out, American Idol, years ago. I remember the first time I heard that phrase, I thought, how ridiculous. Like, that just epitomizes this crazy culture that we live in that wants to throne or to crown an American Idol. You know, if you go through the ranks and if you compete and you out-sing everyone else, we're going to give you this honor of the American Idol. And it just felt so funny to me. And then over the course of the years, it just, oh yeah, it's American Idol. That's just what it is. But it's a strange thing that we love our superstars and our actors and our musicians and our politicians. Maybe you love them, maybe you hate them, who knows? But we have this perception that collectively as a group, we put so much stock in having someone who will maybe speak on behalf of everyone. It's sort of in a king sort of mentality or a ruling mentality. When you look at the Jewish scriptures and the Jewish tradition, there was a story of Samuel where the people came to him and said, we want a king like every other of these tribes have kings. And Samuel is like, why do you want a king? We don't need a king. And basically he consented. And the God character in that story said, okay, listen, they're not rejecting you, but they're rejecting me. And if they want a king, then so be it. They can have their king to rule over them. And little do they know that that's actually going to be oppressive. But if they want it, then here you go, have your kings. And then maybe that's the equivalent of what we have today is we don't see the negative consequences, but we want to have the people on pedestals. So collectively, we just buy into it. A phrase that I heard that really describes that is that we live in an adolescent culture where we're just still kind of growing up in our evolution of consciousness. And this stage that we're in, we still want this authoritarian figure, even though we might be rebellious against it. We desire to have someone just to tell us what to do and to live up to some ideal. So there's the collective, universal need for pedestals. The next question I have is, why do you personally put people on pedestals? And then I asked the question to myself, why, Brad, do you put people on pedestals in your life? As I reflect in my growing up and as a adolescent and as an adult now, why have I done that over the years? And every stage of my life I've done it, whether it would be teachers or musicians or bands that I was into, or now it's, authors and speakers and people in a leadership position, other podcasters, like, wow, they're so amazing and they're up on this pedestal. And I put them there because I've created them to be higher than me, and I'm just lowly down here, but man, they've rocked it and they deserve that stage and that recognition. But why do I do that? One of the epiphanies I had in my late 20s was that for years, and I didn't realize this until when I was an adult, but I put my parents on a pedestal. But eventually, they couldn't stand on there anymore because I grew up and I realized, oh man, they're actually not perfect. And Mom, Dad, if you're listening to this, much love to you and you're amazing. And I certainly don't think any less of you. In fact, I feel closer to you now at this stage of my life than I did before. But I grew up thinking, and man, they just could do no wrong. Every time I talked about them, and my wife was quick to point this out, like, well, every time you talk about your mom and dad, they are just like, whoa, Brad's mom and dad are way up there. And again, they're not taking anything away from them. But why did I do that? Why do I do that now? Why do I continue to put people in this position where somehow they know more than me? They are somehow beyond what I know or what I've experienced, and they are superior to me. And I think the answer to that is that I don't trust that I have anything of value to say. I question and I don't trust that I might have something to contribute in this situation. So instead, I will kind of find other people. And again, the people whose work is amazing, people who have inspired me, people who are worthy of recognition. I've taken this added step by propping them up on this pedestal that almost like excuses me from participating in the arena to get dust on my face. At the Roosevelt quote of, it's not the critic that stands in the stands and makes all these comments, but it's the person who's in the ring. They're the ones that are valiantly being courageous. And Brene Brown talks about this in her book Daring Greatly. It's the one in the ring who is trying, who is taking the effort to discover what this life is about and trying things on. That's the one. But I think the pedestal mentality, and especially when you put other people individually as a person, think of it yourself, like what people have you put on a pedestal. By doing that, you have taken yourself out of that ring and you have put them in a higher position because you don't trust that you could maybe do what they do, or that you could participate in this adventure that we call life. And it's something that we don't know how to deal with, so we create this separation between us and them. And then the next question is, why am I seeking to be on a pedestal? Why is it that I'm actually in this pursuit of wanting to elevate myself to be standing on some pedestal? I think one of the obvious things is that the pedestal allows us to be seen. Because when you're on the ground and the ground floor and the concert hall where everyone else is seating, in the theater or in the rows or whatever, the bleachers, we don't stand out. And we want to be validated in life. We want to be acknowledged and to be considered by another person. And so we will venture off on this journey to take the stairs, take the ladder up to reach that pedestal on the podium. Because we think that if we can arrive there, then we will be seen by others. Others will acknowledge, oh, they're amazing. Oh, look what they've done. Oh, I want to be like them, and we've got these very fragile, a very fragile sense of ourselves that we believe that the pedestal will fix that for us. That's an interesting phenomenon too. So we do that collectively. We put other people there, but in essence, in many ways, we are on that same path towards our own pedestals. And I think it's because we don't fully believe that we are seen as it is right now, where the light isn't on us, where the recognition isn't coming our way? Do we believe that we're seen then? And I think that's where it takes a real step of courage to trust that we are seen without any performance, without any accolades, without any trail of achievement behind us that will somehow validate, like, yes, this person deserves to be recognized and they are a good person and they're amazing. We don't quite believe it because we think that the pedestal will offer that to us. And then ironically, I think what happens is that is a perception, because for those who have reached the pedestal, if they were honest about it, and that's probably a hard requirement, although it sounds easy, but if they were really brutally honest, they would say that it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. Kind of like Ecclesiastes in the scripture of smoke, right? Everything is smoke. It doesn't have any value or meaning. You get to the thing and it's like a vapor. And there's a band called Gungor. They have a song called The Vapor, and everything kind of just dissolves. You think you come up to something and it's a mirage. It's not what you thought it was. I can speak personally to this, where in the last couple of years, my wife and I have been able to develop a thriving business and excel in leadership and financially grow and all that. And it's been amazing. The journey has been awesome. We've learned so much. And yet reaching this pedestal that I was attaining for a couple of years ago, I've realized, wow, like, this is not what I thought it was. Certain things have happened. I'm appreciative of it. I'm grateful. But all of a sudden, the power of the pedestal has been dissolved because I've reached it. And there must be something more, because I don't feel completely content. So what do? Well, maybe I grab another set of stairs and ascend to the next pedestal. I don't know. Is that our tendency? We think if it's not here, then maybe it's somewhere else. And let's head off on that journey and let's ascend that stairs and get that ladder and go up here and hopefully we'll find a sense of peace and satisfaction in all of our striving. But if we feel empty in this place, then who's to say that we're not going to be emptied at another place? And are we just chasing an emptiness? It's very, very easy for us to look out and see these people in the world who are, as a society, we prop them up because we see them in a very public way. They are the movies, the actors, the musicians, the politicians, anyone who's like a public figure, and we look at their life at a distance. And we think to ourselves, wow, wouldn't that be amazing to have all that money and all that attention, and life would just be, it would just be incredible. In my life, well, I work 9 to 5, or I'm just living in this small town. I've got these crazy kids that drive me nuts, and I got this mother-in-law, and I've got this, this work environment that's not so ideal. And we compare ourselves to this person on the pedestal. However, I think if you would talk to them, they would be able to give you a better, more accurate picture of the life that they have lived. And some of it has been amazing, but some of it actually is not all that great. And they would be honest about maybe the stage and the platform that they're standing on. And it may not be exactly what we all think it is. There is a beautiful movie that I hope that you have seen or will see. It's called The Greatest Showman on Earth. It came out recently. There's a couple amazing songs in this movie, and the first one is called From Now On, and there's the one lyric where he says, "These eyes will not be blinded by the lights." Because the character, Hugh Jackman's character, P.T. Barnum, he had this very thriving, successful circus and entertainment with all these oddities and people who were different shapes and colors and talents and everything, and it became very successful. But he saw this opera singer who was a beautiful woman. She had a great voice, very put together, and he wanted to go after the higher brow, more wealthy crowd. So he promoted her, and he got sidetracked, and he left this beautiful thing that he created and his wife and his kids in pursuit of this higher pedestal. And he had a breaking point where he realized, wow, what have I just done? I have left something that was so valuable to me in pursuit of this other thing, and it just became very apparent to him that something had to change. And so this song, from now on, that one lyric is, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. Because I do believe that when we seek a stage, when we desire to up the notch and receive a little bit more attention and a little bit more praise and a little bit more, there is this possibility that we could be blinded by the lights once we reach it. There is a difference between achievement and working towards something, and I'm all for a discipline and setting your sights on a goal, and that's where there's a gray area to this. I don't think it's a black and white, but there is a sense of wisdom in this that would say, if we are seeking this stage, and if we are seeking it for these reasons, right, to be validated and to be appreciated and loved and accepted, then that may not be the best reason. And maybe it's okay, maybe you start off in life that way, we all do, and like, as one author said, like, even if you start off with the wrong way, God loves the fact that at least you love something, and it may be a little bit skewed and ego-driven, but God can work with that. The divine can co-create and co-inhabit with us, even though we're a little bit off. At least we love something. At least we care. We give a shit about something, right? But there is this possibility that we might be blinded by the lights. And I thought that was a really cool, revealing statement. And then there's another psalm where here's the opera singer, and the song is called Never Enough. And she has this other perspective where she says this: all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough. Speaking to the same principle of it'll never be enough. Whatever stage you're seeking, whatever pedestal you have seen other people be on, whatever pedestal you're desiring to be on, there is the truth that it'll never be enough. And here's why. Because the pedal is too small. Eventually, you will either fall off, the person that you put up there will fall off, or as a collective society, that person will fall off. It was never meant to be a permanent place. You were never meant to reach this plateau and say, well, here's my success, and I did it, and I'm just going to revel in the recognition and the glory and all that comes with it. The pedestal is an impermanent thing. It's a stepping stone. Maybe we need to get off the pedestal. Maybe we need to take the stairs. I've made this commitment to myself that anytime I'm traveling, if I'm in an airport, hotel, sometimes not, depending on how many floors up it is, I will always take the stairs. I'll grab my luggage, I will, whatever I gotta do, and I want to do that, partly because it's fun, it gets me active, get my heart going, I don't know, just it's kind of fun. And even at home, the stairs we have here, I usually run up the stairs. I've kind of made a decision to do that too. So, call me crazy, but I take the stairs. And that would be maybe my thought in response to this, because I don't want to paint this as a negative, oh, this is terrible, pedestal thing is bad, and why have we done this to ourselves? But let's look at it as, it is what it is, but what are the other options here? What are the stairs that we're taking right now to get to some pedestal? And what about the stairs at the end of the pedestal that actually take us off of it? Because for every Olympic athlete, right now, because we're in this Winter Olympics, every Olympic athlete that wins one of the medals, they work for years and years and years to accomplish such great athletic prowess and ability, and if they win, there's a brief moment in time, a minute or two for their anthem to be played, where they get to stand on the pedestal and be acknowledged, and so we should acknowledge the hard work that they've done to get there. But very short after they have to get off the pedestal. There's some stairs on the other end, and they have to get off. They have to actually go back to life. That's the reality. And that's a good reality. We should embrace that. We should embrace the fact that there is a set of stairs that goes up and goes down. There is a beautiful quote I want to share with you from Thomas Merton. He is an American monk and mysticism guy, whatever it's called. And he points out that we may spend our whole life climbing the ladder of success, only to find when we get to the top of that ladder that it's leaning against the wrong wall. That might be humbling, but it's necessary. as we're climbing up the ladder, we reach it and we're like, whoa, I thought I wanted this, but this actually wasn't exactly what I wanted. The temptation, I think, again, is we could grab another set of stairs and find the next highest pedestal on the ladder, because we see it in our society. It kind of promotes that. So let's just keep climbing until we die and run out of energy. But maybe we need to just grab those same set of stairs and just climb back down. I think that a posture of humility and honesty it can be a downward spiral. It can be a descent of, we start off in our life, we're hot to trot, we kind of know it all, right? And we're climbing. But then there might be a moment where, like, you know what, I think we need to maybe climb down something here. The letting go, the surrender, let's step down from this pursuit and step into maybe a space that doesn't really know what we're climbing yet. We still want to work. I'm not advocating someone to be lazy and say, well, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to try to go after anything. That's not the message. But it's more of what are you going after exactly? Why do you want that? Who cares what anyone else thinks, right? Who cares what my parents think? Who cares what people that I admire think? As much as I learn from them and I'm grateful for them, I love you, Mom and Dad, if you're listening. I have much love and respect for people who I feel like are doing good work in the world. But my journey, why am I doing this? Why am I striving after it? And perhaps I need to rethink what I'm striving for. Because if attaining the pedestal will dissolve its power, the pedestal of its power, then maybe just perhaps I need to be rethinking this. And maybe it's not looking for another pedestal, but maybe it just means walking down that ladder. So grateful that you took some time to spend with me today. I hope this was valuable for you and that you learned something along with me, that I'm learning something. If you want to connect further with me, you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and my site, bradtaves.com, and that's spelled BRADTOEWS. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much.